Hi everyone, I am Marthea Gibby and I'm just going to answer some questions for this assignment we had this week. First question we were asked is what is Web 2.0? And from what I've been able to find out, it's basically just a website to where all the users are able to participate, add content, publish content, and actually interact with the website versus the standard Web 1.0 where the user just kind of intakes the information. So with that being said, some of the ways that I thought it could be used in education, the first one being that I'm currently working as a special ed teacher. So one of the big things that works really well for my students is video modeling. So the idea of the fact that a student can see themselves engaging in good behaviors and to kind of give themselves a little pep rally in their own video for good academic behaviors is really useful and really helpful in teaching them that this is an appropriate way to act versus what's not. For other teachers, another method I thought for using videos in classrooms would basically just be when you have collaborative groups and cooperative learning going on to where students are all able to upload maybe just a piece of their information or just to come together and present a whole presentation in a video format, and they can go back and watch and learn from each other, pick up extra details from each other that they may not have noticed the first time around. The second way I really liked about pin boards was the simple fact that I didn't think about it until I was reading about it, was that I use Pinterest a lot for a lot of activities that we can use in a classroom. But for students, if you were to have a Pinterest board or a pin board in general that was dedicated to the class, every student could upload and share their resources, share their photos, share the links of things that they found useful, whether it's related to just a certain area, academic area that's going on, or whether it's just related to their whole class experience, and give each other good messages of whether they're doing well or whatever they need to work on. It's another aspect that kind of helps everybody engage in cooperative learning and sharing ideas. I think a big one that a lot of people are using nowadays tends to be social networking sites, and the first and foremost idea I always think of is Facebook. Typically, it's geared more towards graduate level or undergrad level in terms of when I think about it, but I have seen in the past where groups of students have just created a class page related to just their semester, and they'll all share links, post videos of them completing problems that they may have in class, or sharing ideas that they may have in class, sharing notes and things like that, that all contribute to everybody interacting and everybody learning the material in the same way, typically about the same time. And I think the final one is just with the mobile apps that we have now. I think it's a safe bet to say that 80 to 90% of everybody has a smartphone. And with that, you get multiple apps such as, so many. GroupMe is one that is a text-based application that basically just allows you to add multiple users, multiple phone numbers, and you all engage in a text that is sent to everybody. In education, if students were to complete that, whatever grade level they are, whenever somebody has a question, hey, how did you guys figure out this problem? Or hey, how did you do this? Everybody in that classroom is able to respond, including the teacher themselves, to give them better ideas and help everybody move along at the same pace if possible. The next part of this week's assignment that we were asked is a little bit about Web 3.0. And it took me a really long time to really feel confident and find out the information that was needed. But from what I've been able to tell, Web 3.0 is basically a more intuitive aspect of computers in the sense that they're able to understand you as the user as well as you as a user, what you're trying to accomplish or what you're trying to search or what you're trying to do. So some everyday examples that I have would be the autofill or autocorrect that you get on your phone or in your word processing applications, because I am personally a horrible speller. So for me to be able to use a word processing app and have it automatically check my spelling and to kind of learn some of my typical spelling errors and help me correct that faster is a lifesaver when I'm composing any written product for any class. Another example that I thought of is voice dictation. And the reason I mentioned this is, and the way I thought about it was just kind of the iPhone sense. I've had 2 iPhones in my whole tenure of owning cell phones. And I can tell you that the most recent one for me being the iPhone 6, the voice dictation and the voice recognition system is much better than it was in an iPhone 4. The ability for Siri to pick up on my accent and the way I say things has gotten much better. And I think it also kind of goes into that whole idea of, Alexa and Cortana on other systems. And in education, again, coming from a special education background, I thought of the same way, the same 2 ideas in the different formats. So for me, and I have used this in class for students who have issues with their handwriting where it's not legible or it's a really, really tedious process for them and they end up losing their thought of what they're trying to express because they're so focused on the mechanics of writing. Having that autofill or autocorrect option saves them so much time and eases the burden for them to better express themselves. And the other one for the voice dictation, first and foremost thing I thought about would be students who have mobility issues, students who have visual issues, or who have auditory issues or disabilities. This again is another system that when computers are better able to understand the students and what they're trying to convey and whether they're working with somebody else or whether they're working by themselves, they can express themselves, express the knowledge, and also gain knowledge a lot faster. When you have an auto reader on a computer and a student who has visual disabilities is able to actually hear the material versus in struggling of trying to magnify it and see it, it can make the world of difference. So those are my ideas. Hopefully I expressed them clearly for everybody, and thank you.